Hi friends, welcome to this video. In this video we are going to discuss the packet tracer activity, configure initial router settings. Here is our packet tracer activity. You will see the objectives coming to part 1, verify the default router configuration. Part 2, we will do the configure and verify the initial router configuration. And in part 3, save the running configuration file. Well, friends, we will go through this background. In this activity, we will perform basic router configurations. We will secure access to the CLI and console port using encrypted and plain text passwords. We will also configure messages for users logging into the router. These banners also warn unauthorized users that access is prohibited. And finally, we will verify and save our running configuration. So this is what we are going to do in this packet tracer activity. We will come to part 1, verify the default router configuration. So in step 1, establish a console connection to R1. So here we can see the router R1 and we can see the PCA. This is our personal computer. So we are going to choose a console cable and we are going to connect from R1, this router, to this PCA. Right. And click PCA and select RS-232. Right, we will select this console cable. Great. Coming to the connection, here we can see the connections. We have to click on these connections and we have to search for the console cable. Yes, here we can see the console cable. Click on this console cable and we have to come to our personal computer PCA. So here we can see the RS-232 port and we have to connect this console to this RS-232, and on R1 we have to use the console port. We have to connect to console. We will see what is next. So we have connected this RS-232 in PCA, and we connected other end to the console on R1. And now we have to click on PCA. We have to go to desktop tab. We have to select terminal. Click OK and press enter. You are now able to configure R1. Alright, we will come to this PCA. Yes, here is our PCA, and here we can see the desktop tab, and here we can see the terminal. We have to click on that, and this terminal configuration, port configuration, we have to give the default, and we have to press OK. And here we can see press return to get started. So we have to press enter. Yes, now we are ready to configure this router. Great job. In part 1, step 1 completed. Now we will move to step 2. Enter a privileged mode and examine the current configuration. You can access all the router commands from privileged exec mode. However, because many of the privileged commands configure operating parameters, privileged access should be password protected to prevent unauthorized use. So here we are going to give enter privileged exec mode by entering the enable command, so that we will go to the privileged exec mode. Yes, notice that the prompt changed in the configuration to reflect privileged exec mode. Yes, so from the user exec mode we have to go to the privileged exec mode using the command enable. So we will do that now. Here we can see, yes, here we are going to give the command enable. Yes, now we can see we are in a privileged exec mode. Now we will come to B. Enter the show running config command in the privileged exec mode, and we have to answer the following questions like what is a router's host name, how many fast Ethernet interfaces does the router have, how many gigabit Ethernet interfaces does the router have, etc., etc. So first of all, we will give this show command in this router. So we will come to the router. Yes, here we are going to give show running config, and we can see all the informations. We can see the host name as router by default, and we can see author informations. Yes, here we can see the interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0, interface gigabit Ethernet 0/1. Also we can see the serial interfaces. Yes, here we can see the fast Ethernet 0/1/0, 1/1, 1/2 and 1/3. And also we can see the line, that is console and VTY. Now we will come to the questions. We will come to the first question. What is the router's host name? Yes, here we can see the host name is router. So this is the default name for the router. The second question, how many fast Ethernet interfaces does the router have? Yes, so we will verify that fast Ethernet interfaces. Yes, here we can see that 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have total 4 fast Ethernet interfaces in this router. How many gigabit Ethernet interfaces does the router have? Yes, that also we have seen. Here we can see gigabit Ethernet 0/0 and gigabit Ethernet 0/1. So we have 2 gigabit Ethernet interfaces in this router. How many serial interfaces does the router have? Yes, that also we have seen here. Serial 0/0/0 and serial 0/0/1. That means we have 2 serial interfaces. And finally we have what is the range of values shown for the VTY lines. Yes, we will come to VTY, that is virtual terminal. Here we can see, yes, so line VTY from 0 to 4. Yes, so we have total 5 lines from 0 to 4. Now we will come to D. Display the current contents of NVRAM, that is a non-volatile RAM. So we have to give the command show startup config in the privileged exec mode. Startup config is not present. This will be the result when we give this show command. Why does the router respond with the startup config is not present message? First of all, we will give this message and we will verify that. Here we can give show command show startup config, right? Yes, here we can see startup config is not present. Yes, so whatever configuration we do, that will be stored in the RAM, that is a volatile memory. So we have to copy the contents from RAM to NVRAM. If you are not copying, obviously the startup config, that is NVRAM, will be empty in the beginning. Yes, so this is the reason why the router respond with the startup config is not present. Well, we completed our part 1. Now we will come to part 2. Configure and verify the initial router configuration. To configure parameters on a router, we may be required to move between various configuration modes. Notice how the prompt changes as you navigate through the router. Yes, we know the different modes like user exec mode, privileged exec mode, a global configuration mode, and we have a specific configuration modes like interface mode, sub-interface mode, or maybe the line modes or router modes, etc. So we have to go through these different configuration modes to do these initial router configurations. We will come to step 1. configure the initial settings on R1, that is our router. Note, if you have difficulty remembering the commands, refer to the content for this topic. The commands are the same as you configured on a switch, right? Already we have seen the packet tracer, that is initial settings of switch, the same command, so we are going to use in this router too. So R1 as the host name, we are going to set the host name as R1 and use the following passwords. The console password should be let me in, privileged exec, that is unencrypted, is a Cisco, privileged exec, that is encrypted password should be it's a secret, and we have to encrypt all plain text passwords, and finally we have to set the MOTD, that is message of the day, that is unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. So these are the configurations what we are going to do on this router R1. Now we are going to do the initial settings on R1. First of all, as they told, we are going to set the host name, that is R1. Yes, so we have to go to the global configuration mode, configure terminal, and we have the command host name, and here we are going to set the host name. Yes, here we can see the default router name, that is router, is changed to R1, what we set right now. Now we will set the line console password, so we have to go to the line mode. So here we have line console and the number is 0, and we are going to set the password, and we have to see the password, that is let me in. We are going to set that password, let me in, and we are going to press enter, and we have a command called login enable password checking. So we have given this console password as let me in, so this should be activated when the next login we do. So here we have to give the login command. Yes, here I am going to give login. Now we will set privileged exec unencrypted password. That means that password will be a plain text. So we have to set as a Cisco. We will do that now. We have to exit from this specific configuration mode. Here we are going to enable the password, and here we have to give the password, that is a Cisco. Yes, so we enabled the unencrypted password for the privileged exec mode. Now we are going to give encrypted password for the privileged exec mode. We have to use the command enable secret, and the password is it's a secret. Yes, here obviously the console password and the privileged exec unencrypted password, that is let me in and Cisco, will be plain text passwords. Now we are going to encrypt these plain text passwords. So for that we have to give the command service password encryption, so that the plain text password will be encrypted. Finally, we are going to set the MOTD, that is a message of the day. Here is our message, that is unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. So we are going to set this MOTD. Here is our R1. We are going to set the banner MOTD, and we are going to set the we are going to give the message. Before that we have to set the delimiter. Here I am going to use the dollar symbol, and here is our message, and we are going to end with the same delimiter what we started, that is a dollar symbol. Yes, so we set MOTD2. Great job. Now we have done all the initial settings on R1. Now we will come to step 2. Verify the initial settings on R1. verify the initial settings by viewing the configuration for R1. What command do you use? Obviously we can use show running config. Exit the current console session until you see the following message. Yes, so we have to exit from the current console session and we have to start from the beginning. That means we get this message, press return to get started. Press enter, you should see the following message: unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. This is a message what we given as MOTD. And we get user access verification. This is the console password. We have to give the console password what we given, that is let me in. Come on friends, so we will verify these initial settings on this router R1. We are going to exit. Okay, we are going to exit again. Press return to get started. We are going to start again. I am going to press enter. Yes, here we can see the message: unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. This is nothing but the message what we given, that is MOTD. And just after we can see user access verification. This is nothing but the line console authentication. We have to give the password here. The password what we given is let me in. Yes, I typed my password, but we can see it is invisible. Friends, you remember when we type the password will be invisible. And yeah, here the session expired. Without making any mistake, we have to type the password. Again, I am going to give my password, let me in. Yes, now we are in a user exit mode. Now we are going to privileged exit mode. We have to give the command enable. Yes, here also it is prompted for password. Here we given the privileged exit mode passwords. We have given plain text password, that is Cisco, and after we given the enable secret password, that is encrypted password. Obviously we have to give the enabled secret password here. Okay, I am going to give the first password what I given, that is Cisco. I am going to press enter. It is not accepting. Yes, so I have to give this secret password. So that is it's a secret. Oops, it's a secret. Yes, here we can see now we are in privileged exit mode. Friends, so we have to keep in mind for the access verification for the privileged exit mode, also the password will be invisible. We have to type the password correctly. Yes, we verified the initial settings on R1, and now here we can see they are asking a question. Why should every router have a message of the day banner? I mean MOTD. So every router should have a banner to warn unauthorized users that access is prohibited, but can also be used for sending messages to network personnel or technicians, such as impending system shutdowns or who to contact for access. That's why we use this MOTD banner. We can see one more question here. If you are not prompted for a password, what console line command did you forget to configure? Yes, so in the beginning here we can see it is prompted for user access verification. Suppose they ask this password is not asked, so what we forgot to give. Obviously in this configuration I told we must give the command called login. If you are forgetting to give this login command, it won't prompt for this user access verification. So make sure that you are giving this login command in this line mode. Enter the passwords necessary to return to privileged exit mode. Yes, here we can see we already given the privileged exit mode password. And we have one more question here. Why would the enable secret password allow access to the privileged exit mode and the enable password no longer be valid. Yes, as I told during the configuration, the enable secret password overrides the enable password. If both are configured on the router, we must enter the enable secret password to enter privileged exit mode. Yes, here we have one more question. If you configure any more passwords on the router, are they displayed in the configuration file as plain text or in encrypted form? Yeah, it's a great question. Because we already set the service password encryption command. So once we set this service password encryption command, so it encrypts all the current passwords, and suppose we are going to set some passwords in the future, that too. Yes, well done till here. Now we will move to part 3. Save the running configuration file. Step 1, save the configuration file to NVRAM. So whatever configurations we have done till now, it will be in the RAM. So RAM is a volatile. Once our system is rebooted or maybe loses the power, all the configuration what we done we will lose. So we must save the configuration from RAM to NVRAM. Okay, here we can see you have configured the initial settings for R1. Yes, we have done that. Now back up the running configuration file to NVRAM, that is non-volatile RAM, to ensure that the changes made are not lost if the system is rebooted or loses power. Exactly. So we have to save the content from RAM to NVRAM. What command did you enter to save the configuration to NVRAM? Yes, we know that. We already seen in the last packet tracer activity, that is copy running config to startup config, running config space startup config. What is the shortest unambiguous version of this command? We can give COP space R space yes. So this is the shortest unambiguous version of this command. We have one more question here. Which command displays the contents of the NVRAM? We know the content of RAM we can see with the help of running config, show running config, and we can see the contents of NVRAM using show startup config, obviously. Verify that all of the parameters configured are recorded. If not, analyze the output and determine which commands were not done or well entered incorrectly. You can also click check results in the instruction window. Here we can see the status. It is 72 out of 80 because we did not save our content from RAM to NVRAM. So this is the final step what we are going to do. Yes. Oops, we are going to give the password here, that is let me in enable, and password is it's a secret. Now we are going to give the command. We are going to copy from running config to startup. We have a copy or running config. We are going to save to startup config. Yes, destination file name we can give the default file name, so just press enter. Well, so we copied from RAM to NVRAM. Now we will check the check results, also the completion status. Great job. Here we can see the completion status is 80 out of 80. Also we can check results here. Yes, here we can see the assessment items and we can see everything configured correctly. Our packet tracer activity completed successfully, but still we can see one more step here. Step 2, optional bonus, save the startup configuration file to flash. Although you will be learning more about managing the flash storage in a router in later chapters. So some of the advanced configurations are coming in future. So you may be interested to know now that as an added backup procedure, you can save your startup configuration file to Flash. Yes, so we can save the startup configuration in Flash too. By default, the router still loads the startup configuration from NVRAM, that is non-volatile RAM. But if NVRAM becomes corrupt, you can restore the startup configuration by copying it over from Flash. So there might be a chance of the content of NVRAM may corrupt. We can then take the backup from the this Flash. Complete the following steps to save the startup configuration to Flash. We will come to A. Examine the contents of Flash using the show flash command. We can see the contents of Flash. We have to give the command show flash. Right, we will give that here. Show flash. Right, we have that. Yes, we can see some files here. We have 3 files, 1, 2, 3, and we can see the length they given here. And name and status, we can see here is one file with the bin extension. We can see another file with the .xml and another with the .xml. We have a couple of questions here. How many files are you currently stored in Flash? Yes, just now we have seen we have total 3 files here. Okay. Which of these files would you guess is the iOS image? Obviously there will be an iOS image. We will verify that. We have XML, no, yes, we can see one bin file here. So this is the file of iOS. Why do you think this file is the iOS image? Yeah, here we have 2 clues. One is obviously the extension, that is here we can see the extension is .bin. This is the extension of iOS file. Also, once we go through this file name, we can see the long file name C1900 universal K9. So it gives the clues of iOS file. Now we will go to B. Save the startup configuration file to Flash using the following commands. Copy startup config Flash. We are going to copy the contents from startup config to Flash. Alright, we will give this command now. Yes, here we are going to give we have to copy from startup config to, we can search for the Flash. Yes, here we have Flash. I am going to press enter. Destination file name, we will give the default name. Press enter again. Yes, here we can see that the 1142 bytes copied in 0.416 seconds. The router prompts to store the file in Flash using the name in brackets. If the answer is yes, then press enter. If not, type an appropriate name and press enter. Okay, so either we can give, we can prefer a name or the name it will take what is in the brackets. Yes, now use the show flash command to verify the startup configuration file is now stored in Flash. Yes, we will verify that now. We have to give the show command, show flash. We will verify. Yes, here we can see now we have total 4 files. Previously it was 3, and we can see the length 1142. This is already we have seen. Yes, here we can see that, and the file name is startup config. So this is the default name. It is selected, which is in the bracket. Here we can see the startup config. Yes, now our startup configuration file is safe in Flash. Suppose our the startup configuration corrupt, obviously we can load our startup configuration from this Flash. Well, great job. We completed this Packet Tracer activity, that is configuring initial router settings successfully. My dear friends, if you like my video, give a thumb. Also, I expect opinions and suggestions to improve my future videos. Also, if you have any doubt regarding this packet tracer activity or CCNA routing and switching, you can comment below. Share my videos to your friends, share my channel with your friends, and finally, if you not yet subscribed, you can subscribe my channel to get future videos information into your Gmail. Thank you. Take care.